Genesis is touring behind Invisible Touch, its 16th album. And as I mentioned earlier, Genesis is unique in the sense that they have continued to innovate despite the changes within the band. But even when this lineup settled in, the band has never settled down. Over the last 5 years, Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks have moved in and out of Genesis. Their solo projects have been very successful. But in spite of that, there has never been any doubt that Genesis would continue as a band.
It's like all these things you can...
Soundcheck, as Michelob presents Genesis. Joe Bonadonna from 93.3 WMMR. Welcome back to the Genesis Special. Late last year, Phil Collins, Tony Banks, and Mike Rutherford came together at their studio in Surrey, England, to concentrate on the next Genesis album. They did so in the midst of their best solo efforts ever. Tony Banks had just written music for the film Quicksilver. Mike Rutherford had just released the debut album from Mike and the Mechanics. And Phil Collins was riding the wave of his third solo album, No Jacket Required.
Against All Odds is my favorite Phil Collins song.
And all, wait a minute, what's the other one?
Can't choose two. One is,
I like,
only one.
No, one.
I love Phil Collins. I think he's like really great. He's very talented. He's got a lot going for him.
My favorite Phil Collins song is One More Night.
My favorite Phil Collins song is The Studio.
It's important for me to have success on my own. But I mean, if I had this battle with myself, or should I give that to Genesis, should I keep that on my own, then that would be a problem. And that's where I'd have to make a decision, probably. But there isn't really. I mean, we all have our individual things.
When the Genesis Special returns, we'll have more of our interviews and some very special moments from one of their sound checks. And stay with us, because we'll tell you who's going on the road with Genesis. I'm Joe Bonadonna from 93.3 WMMR. Welcome back to the Genesis Special. Now, as Genesis tours the United States in 1986, we can see just how good a collection of musicians have been in the band over the years. If you're familiar with Genesis, then you probably know that they have always had some of the most complicated and ambitious light shows ever. Long before you get to the arena, many people are working long hours to get everything ready for the show. The quality you expect from Genesis takes a long time to pull together.
It's got to the stage now where, because it's... I mean, everyone talks about computerized lights. What it really means is there are so many lights, and they can do so much. You have to do the whole thing on presets, and it has to be really done. The work is done, basically, before the show starts. We spend quite a long time down in Dallas going through the lighting cues and working out the... We tend to get involved on the important moments in the songs when there's like a very a striking cue needed.
that was fantastic.
When the Genesis Special returns, we'll be giving away Genesis Michelob gift sets. And later on, we'll be sending one of you on the road with the group as Michelob presents Genesis. Hi, I'm Joe Bonadonna from 93.3 WMMR. Welcome back to the Genesis Special. What you're looking at is footage from a Genesis soundcheck at the Philadelphia Spectrum. This is the early leg of a tour that will last the better part of a year and take them to Australia, New Zealand, and then to Europe. And even though this comes right on the heels of their individual work, Phil, Mike, and Tony still managed to keep a fresh approach to Genesis.
But no, we're going after we do, we've got about 6 weeks here this time. And then we go to Australia and New Zealand before Christmas. After Christmas, we come back here for a bit to fill in some of the places we haven't done this time. Then we go to Japan, and then we have a little bit of time off, and then we go to do Europe, which we're trying to do sort of late spring, early summer next year.
I've become pretty good with the faders and knobs, and basically the things that started out as demos at home recording developed into the foundations of the masters for the album.
There must be some misunderstanding. There must be some kind of mistake.
I'm very proud of what the band has done, you know, because I think we've worked very hard for it over a long period of time, which is why, you know, and people assume we earn a lot of money, which we don't, because we put an awful lot back into the stage thing. You know, and It got a nice house, but then I worked bloody hard for it. I think, you know, the band, considering what I mean, the band is it comes from the heart. And we come in for a lot of flack, you know, because people think that it's processed music and devoid of any emotion. But it's, you know, I know from where it comes from. I'm there where it's written. I know where everybody else in the band comes from, and it's done with a lot of heart. So, I mean, you know, I think we can all hold our heads up. I'm very proud of it.
Tony Banks remembers the early days and says that Philadelphia was one of the first towns to really support them.
Well, in the States, it was, I think, along with Cleveland, was the sort of first area to really we could actually start getting a big audience, you know, because when we first came to America, because of the nature of the show, we couldn't support anybody, so we had to headline right from the word go, and it was difficult, therefore, to get a crowd in. But this was definitely one of the areas we seemed to get it quite quick. We used to play a lot at the Tower Theatre.
I can see the fire still alive, or burning in the night. Some man fell.
Mike Rutherford.
We spent a bit of time on how we integrate the new songs with the old ones, because obviously you don't play 8 new songs in a row, you kind of split them up, because the old ones always are known better and go down better, so you kind of divide the setup so it balances nicely. And what we seem to have found the last couple of nights is that it doesn't matter, we could have put all the new songs together. They seem to be enjoying the old songs, the new songs, just as much.
My favorite Genesis song is definitely Abacab.
Follow You, Follow Me, the ultimate.
My favorite song is definitely Mama.
When we come back, we'll have more music from Genesis, and I'll be picking someone to go on the road with them. But first, here are the names of the winners of our Michelob gift set.
It's not easy at all. I mean,